We don't waste our time arguing with others. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have 3 dead black young men under suspicious circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice, you know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail, hate this, hate that. No one, every lawyer is standing up. Every insurance defense lawyer. I'm not your reporter. You work for the paper. Your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. I'm not. Ben Crump is like any lawyer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Camille. This is a press conference with Ben Crump, the Urban League, Nolan Xavier Wells family, and other families who have lost a loved one suspiciously. And they're also discussing. They were discussing how law enforcement is telling them how they're going to be their child's unaliving, as opposed to investigating it thoroughly. And I think this is our Urban League president speaking right now. Sorry, I have my microphone. Let me move it over here. Okay, so you're watching Coffee Chat with Camille. Please like and subscribe. And then also just give me your opinions in the chat, okay, or in the discussion. What do you think about the Nolan Wells case? If you want to come up and talk to me, feel free. Okay, this case is just going up so far. So we're seeing a modern day 1960s civil rights. Another one, civil rights case.
However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I know it as an important day. And I'm not going to fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag.
Let me give credit here.
But on the other side,
and I'm watching this, I think, on, I don't know what channel it is. Let me check.
And we are not going to let anyone diminish
WLOX News.
our constitutional rights.
Okay, so this is a Ben Crump discusses Nolan Wells. Other cases at National Urban League Conference.
It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country. Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times. I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us. But what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice. A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we gotta understand that we're not gonna get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight, litigate, and march to open doors of opportunity. The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents. This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable.
Coffee Chat
So
with
when we
Camille.
stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we are doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission. And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends, we have no permanent enemies, we only have permanent interests. So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before I move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as WB people said,
We are not FBAs. FBAs. We're not
we
African
know that when
American.
the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the rolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the
That's a matter of fact.
very
That's a
young
fact.
country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestors. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America.
All right. Okay, now they're going to take questions.
I have Sean speak briefly to Daniel Erving, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to the Daniel Erving case. Sean,
we have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the District Attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case, we're going to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
you know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Wayne, she said that there was a witness after the trial that said Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she said, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You saying my son jumped off the bridge. Well, that's going to cause you to limp.
Yes, that is true, and there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives, and they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit. The witness also said that all the detectives just grossly overlooked that and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
And I would just respond to this here on Ryan, okay? And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney Ray and I, but she does not believe her son unforced went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that, and she has a right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that, and we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last one. Okay.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces.
And that's Nolan Wells' mother. I believe it's Christina Knowles.
That we have to
I mean,
have
oops, Christina Noel
that
Wells.
they are needed
Yeah.
in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my Black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do things to protect our children.
I can't hear the questions being asked. I don't know. I can't hear the questions being asked.
This is so tragic. This is why Ben Crump is here. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel. They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Erving, and the many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people. That is really, really important. I want to confront the question you asked about this. Something in this country, whenever a Black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign? That's right. Of playing a race card. I have seen this movie for many, many years. And we are going to call it out. because we are not going to be enslaved, distracted, or intimidated for standing up and members of our community. Let the charges come. I say, despite the protocols. It's just a lot of rhetoric, it's nasty, and it's evil. But you know what I found? That every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out, they may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity. We have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room. Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities. I will power motion. Let's thank Ben Crump. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage, I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is a joke.
Thank you, Mario, and the National.
I don't know. I hear some beeping noise, but I don't know what it is. So I apologize for that. Looks like the press conference is over. Yeah. It was pretty long and excellent. Yeah, they're leaving. Okay. It was pretty long and excellent. Yeah, they're leaving. Okay. All right, so all I'm going to do real quick is just, because I'm going to go ahead and go on off the air since they left. But this is a civil rights and personal injury attorney, Ben Crump, was holding a press conference today at 11 a.m. The National Urban, I have an echo, hold on, sorry about that. Because I checked this down by having the television on behind me. So it was like a little bit of an echo. So let me start over. But this was on West WLOX News, and Attorney Crump called for this press conference. It's a civil rights and personal injury attorney, Ben Crump, was holding this press conference today at 11 a.m. The National Urban League's annual conference in Nashville, where he was expected to provide an update on the Nolan Wells case. Okay, so I came in kind of late, by the way, so I didn't start from the very beginning. But Crump is also scheduled to address the cases of Daniel Erving, which he did. He had the parents of, I believe, Mr. Erving, and Tyler Smith. Crump's team, and all three were 18-year-old FBA men who died within 3 months of each other. Now, that's very interesting. I don't know much about these cases, like what states and everything. With Nolan Xavier Wells, I know because I did do a lot of research and I covered it on my podcast, I think once or twice. But at the end of the day, or the beginning of the day, I just want to know, is justice really going to be not pursued, but is there really going to be justice for these cases, or for, in particular, the most recent, Nolan Xavier Wells? And there's a lot of other cases, by the way. Okay, but his really drew me because once I saw him, the young man, and so he's so young, he was so handsome and accomplished, and clearly upper middle class, and just to be gone and no one know what happened to him or anything. I did listen to the audio, on the boat audio of one of the young men on the boat calling for assistance with a sinking boat. And it did sound as if they were referring to Nolan, but no one has even had a chance to have them on podcast or anywhere to ask them about the audio. And I believe one of them was sitting on Officer Tatum's platform. There was actually two of them, but the first one, I call him W because it's two W's, so I just call him W and W. But W was sitting on Officer Tatum's couch, and he failed to mention that boat sinking incident, and instead the young man was just running off with all kind of other, honestly, pointless points about what the boat is doing and, doing all that slow Mississippi and stuff. No one was interested in any of that. The interest is, were you with your friend who you're supposed to be close to? Because to me, when the young man was speaking and his talking points about Nolan seemed like things he was listening to from the press conference and from the news about Nolan. But it didn't seem like he had any personal connection and stories to Nolan. He said he was just reciting what he heard. Oh, Nolan was blah, 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 blah. That's how he came across. So, more likely than not, he was an associate, somebody he hung out with. My thing is this, I had to really think this out. And I was curious about something. Why was Nolan around those particular kind of guys? Like, they didn't really fit him to me. When I hear him talk, they just seem very unhappy. His two friends seem very, I know that they may be under stress because they're being accused of, in some way, harming or having something to do with his untimely passing. But, they just didn't seem like they didn't even match him. You know what I mean? And when I'm saying that they didn't match his energy, they didn't seem to match his class level. Everybody knows how rich these people are. They Mississippi rich. That's different than Beverly Hills rich, right? That's different than 1% rich, right? Or I don't think they're 1%ers. But nevertheless, because they was in that raggedy boat, clearly that was a raggedy boat they went out on. If you're calling for emergency help you for your sinking boat, is somebody's raggedy. I used to go on boats with out here in Marina Del Rey, and you guys can take a ferry off to Catalina Island, and there's boats everywhere. You can just jump on it. You don't have to have a lick of money, maybe a little bit, you know what I mean, for Catalina to go spend some time out there. But all I'm saying, Marina Del Rey, what I say, Dana Point, I love the coast. So anyway, but they obviously were on some little raggedy boat. They all went out there. That's okay, because that's like young people think. It's not really like I'm judging them. I'm just saying, if you have to call for help on your boat, it's sinking. Well, it tells you it probably was in the best shape, because sometimes grandfathers don't keep up their boats. So anyway, I just didn't think his friends match his energy. Honestly, they didn't even match him. Like, I don't know. And I know everyone was out there, they were having fun and all of that, but how one person ended up passed away? How come it wasn't a whole bunch of people? Like, we found 3 different people. No, they just found Nolan amongst all these other races, and it was just really strange, or ethnicities rather. And it was really strange. All of it's really strange. This whole case to me, to be very honest with you, is super strange. It's just moving in all kind of whack directions, right? So Pops comes out and says, hey, I'll give this much money to help find who really did this, that, and the third to Mr. Nolan Wells. Huh? Did you guys even attend his funeral? Did you people attend his funeral? Were you invited? Right? Did you give a press conference that was totally empathetic to Nolan Wells' family? I mean, I have a lot of issues with a lot of the sad stuff I'm seeing. Just a complete and total breakdown and mistreatment of the victims and the victim's family. His friends were trying to disparage him right from, he's drinking, he's doing drugs. Don't you like people like that? They're close to you, but then they telling all your business, right? So that tells you right there they were no friends. But I'm interested in something that Javon said in particular. And he said on that TMZ interview, I didn't notice anyone catching this, but he said, I already took my plea. Did anybody hear Javon say that? And those two young men that were sitting on the couch, they were acting like they took a plea too. Clearly they were. So what is all this plea stuff? And they're doing a lot of things in the locality that we are not privy to, and they're not really being transparent, and they're not going to be. Okay? Mississippi is a unique state. I'll just say it that way. It's a unique state, and it does have a horrific reputation for mistreating a specific ethnic group by lineage, which would be FBAs, which stands for Foundational Black Americans. I like to say for myself, Foundational American. Okay. But I will say this. I do hope, and I meditate, and for those of you who pray over their family, and we just hope that they get the justice that they are seeking, because they're definitely getting national attention. And Mr. Crump, Attorney Crump, the Urban League last week or week before last, was I think it was last Wednesday, in NAACP, and all these other civil rights organizations and folks are getting involved to bring light to this young man's case that had a light that was dim, just gone. So I hope they find justice, every one of the families that spoke. You should not just, your child goes out, your young man goes out, and he never comes back home. And nobody cares. No one. So we really have to look at the way I think reflectively, we really need to look at the way that we are, and not we, me, the government is treating citizens, treating patriots, treating the very folks that built the country. Okay, and on that point, please check out my Reparations Now album. It's experimental avant-garde, and it's also folk indie. It plays on Django. All you gotta do is go to jango.com to my station. You'll be able to listen to my album. And I did write it from my heart and kind of just out there, and then I recorded it, and then I went ahead and changed it into different versions, and I am singing live on there. Unfortunately, I was sick when I did it. I was singing and playing ukulele. So all I'm going to say is, please check out Reparations Now. It's on all the streaming platforms worldwide. Okay? And it is an experimental album. And all I did is took different genres. I took my song, I wrote it. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I wrote the songs. I have a pretty large catalog. But I wrote it, recorded it, and then I just changed them into, as I stated, different genres. So blues and jazz for blues jazz lovers, and then alternative indie, folk country, okay, rhythm and blues, R&B is rhythm and blues. All right, so check it out. Okay, it's called Reparations Now. I'm going to do another episode today, and it's going to be on the movie Mississippi Burning. Okay, so hold on. I'll be back, folks. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for watching Coffee Chat with Camille. This is a press conference by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, and the president of the Urban League, as well as Nolan Xavier Wells family, asking for assistance and guidance, real tips about what happened to him on the 4th of July through the 6th of July. Okay? So if you guys have tips, call, Benjamin Crump directly. Please don't call that tip line. Just call Benjamin Crump directly or contact his office directly. That's the safest way. Okay? So anyway, thank you for watching Coffee Chat with Camille. I'll be back in... What time is it? I'm on PTS, which is Pacific PST, which is Pacific Standard Time over here in California. And so I should be back by 1 p.m. PST, and I'll get that up. Okay, because I also have to edit this video. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely rest of your week. Bye now. Bye.